Partner of Reiser and Kenniff, Tom Kenniff. Tom, you did a magnificent job. We followed this from day one. The best case outcome. What was it like in that courtroom throughout this whole thing?
Intense. Look, myself and Stephen Reiser have been, we formed this firm almost 20 years ago after we'd served in Iraq, after we'd been assistant district attorneys in New York. Tried a lot of cases. It can get ugly. You can bloody up your opponent, but afterwards you're like, okay, a good fight. I have never seen a lust on a part of a prosecutor in a DA's office to get a conviction like I saw in this case, and it was just really, really intense.
So, I mean, she also downgraded a murder charge against someone else because she felt bad for their strife, but yet was willing to wring this kid out. How's he doing now?
He is doing as best he can under the circumstances. I mean, the thing about Danny is, and I made this point earlier, he was never looking for the limelight.
Right.
One of the things I said in my opening statement to the jury is that, look, you hear terms like, people calling him a hero and so forth. He was an ordinary college kid on May 1st, 2023, trying to get from school to the gym, back to school. He had an exam later that afternoon. He had no idea that his life was going to change the way it did. Now that he's been acquitted, obviously he's elated, but it takes some getting used to. He's being recognized everywhere he goes.
Mm-hmm.
People are flattering him. That's not something he's comfortable with, something he's got to adjust to. But under the circumstances, he's doing as well as he can.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad he's doing well, but he's got this civil case. I don't know if you're representing him in the civil case, but at the same time, he was just found, they couldn't even they had to drop a count. Do you see the civil case going anywhere against this guy?
It was interesting, the timing of the civil case, because he's had the Neely family, Jordan Neely's estranged father, had representation for a while. We had been in touch with his attorneys early on. We said, look, after the criminal case is over, we'll see what's next. And then they dropped the filing of the lawsuit right in the midst of jury deliberations. It was an obvious PR stunt.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't work out very well for them. I don't think that they were planning on this verdict. The criminal case doesn't preclude a civil case. It's a different standard of proof. But like I've also said a few times already, myself, Stephen Reiser, the law firm Reiser and Kenniff, we beat back the largest and most well-funded district attorney's office in the country, who I made just a couple of minutes ago, had just a ferocious appetite to try to convict our client. We'll deal with the civil suit and respond to that with the same vigor.
Yeah. It also seems personal. Like Alvin Bragg is considering other ways to go after Daniel. What? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, well, it was just there was just this whole duplicity about the process, because the prosecutor on the one hand during jury selection was saying, it's going to be so hard to get a conviction. The defendant, meaning Mr. Penny's not a bad person. What he did was laudable, but he took it too far. Then one breath later, she's basically describing him as someone who saw Jordan Neely as a threat to be eliminated, how he had no ability to recognize his humanity. She fought like hell to try to prevent us then from getting in his humanitarian service ribbon that he earned during Hurricane Florence. And we were able to get that before the jury and said, you know what, you decided to say he doesn't recognize humanity. You opened the door to that. And I think it was just wildly successful in terms of just allowing the jury to see that, look, this is a real person who did a real thing for people he had no idea, never met before, and he acted to put himself between them.
Tom Kenniff, great job.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks so
it very
much.
much.
I appreciate that, Carl.
Anything we can do to support you guys going forward.
And I appreciate that. Thanks for all the support you've given us so far.
All right.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.